Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back, friends. We have been doing business English vocabulary and we'll continue to do this for a couple of more sessions. So, we have done in our last class a bit of vocabulary. I hope you are able to recall that. Particularly, we have been doing collocation, right? How words combine, join and make a different and new word altogether. So, when you say a word like, and this is something that we had done, down and slide, down sliding. So, down is different independently, slide is different. It has a different meaning independently, but when you bring it together, what happens? So, compound nouns, compound words, collocation. So, these are the words, these are the kinds of vocabulary we have been looking at. Today I also want to recap something that we have already done before, and I have in fact suggested that you should be in the habit of using a good dictionary. So, we will be talking a bit about dictionary skills also, and somewhere in the middle we will do a crossword puzzle, word building or some exercise like that. So, coming to dictionary now, standard dictionaries, what are those? Oxford Advanced English Language Dictionary, you have Cambridge English Language Dictionary, you have some dictionaries which are completely devoted to the study of business English. Yes, you can find that also. Cambridge has plenty of workbooks and exercises devoted all devoted to the development of business English and vocabulary. So, they have some advanced level English or business English kind of textbook, and of course, then other standard books are for example, a dictionary like Macmillan's. So, these are the dictionaries that I would suggest that you make them part and parcel of your routine if you want to increase and add to your repertoire. Now, what does a typical dictionary give you? You can also go to web dictionaries, they are also extremely good, they give you a lot of information, lot of background about words. Nothing like a good physical dictionary in your hand, but if you are not the kind who likes to carry around books, then of course web dictionaries are very good as well. So, typical examples, like the question was, what does a typical dictionary give you? So, let us look at a word like agenda. It will give you the meaning. What is the meaning of agenda? A list of items to be discussed at a formal meeting. Sometimes we even send mails, this is the agenda for the meeting and we are going to have this business meeting soon and this is the agenda, these are the things that we are going to discuss. Pronunciation could be quite tricky. Words, especially English words, and many English words are not exactly pronounced the way they are written. This is connoisseur, yeah. So, that is the pronunciation of it. It has every possibility for mispronunciation. This is entrepreneur. For example, a word like debt, D-E-B-T, it's debt. For example, a word like receipt, the P is silent. So, Dictionary tells you how to pronounce words. Dictionary tells you what parts of speech are these words. So you should be able to use a word in the correct category, in the correct uh, part of speech. So for example, a word like entrepreneur, this is a noun. But when you say entrepreneurship, then that itself is and that is also a noun. Entrepreneurial skills, that's an adjective. So you should be able to distinguish where to use an adjective, how to use uh, the same word in the verb form or in its noun form. Dictionaries also give you examples of collocation. By now you know what are collocations, right? And then of course dictionaries give you, good dictionaries at least give you the origin of the words, how to use that word in your own sentence. So giving examples of those words, idioms and phrases. The other day we were talking about cliches, to avoid cliches and jargons. Of course, it's not always possible to avoid cliches and jargons, but if you cultivate your word power, if you build up your word power, you will soon find that you will be using tired words and phrases. You know, tired words and phrases, थके हुए शब्द जिनका बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल और बहुत ही ज़्यादा उपयोग हो चुका है, उन्हें कहते हैं क्लीशे. क्लीशे cliche. It's a French word with an accent mark on it. So, cliche, those words that have been used over and over again, and they have become so common that by now they look almost absurd, ridiculous. उन्हें पढ़ के हंसी आती है कि देखिए ये वर्ड जो है ये तो इतना पुराना और घिसा पिटा हो चुका है, तो इसलिए उनका उपयोग ना करें तो बेहतर है. Let's look at this slide now, because I've been talking so much about collocation. So let's recap collocation. This is the way words come together or collocate. Collocation is noun, collocate is verb. Whispered softly. You can whisper loudly also, but that's the way. Shout, you can't shout softly, right? Roared loudly. So these are the terms, these are the words that go together. Roared softly, I doubt it. You play something gently, and some very rude people keep things very loudly. We shouldn't be doing that. So place any object on the desk or table gently. You grant permission, you get permission, you give permission, you receive permission, you deny permission. So those are the collocations. You issue a denial, issued a denial. Can you say grant a denial? I doubt it. So that's a collocation that is inappropriate. You commute to work. One can be exceptionally talented, extraordinarily talented. So those are some common examples of collocation. Gentle breeze, destructive winds. Okay, that's the way we use or we collocate words. So next time when you use a dictionary, while looking up a word, you can put a bookmark next to it. Each time you return to a page with a mark, briefly read through it and check it if you remember it, because that's the way you develop your vocabulary. See, if you come across a very good word, a sterling word for the first time. The other day I came across a word like culturematic. Okay, now culturematic is not something that is a very common word. Okay, but it is becoming quite common. There is a book written. There is a book called Culturematic. So, what's a culturematic? Who is a culturematic? If you think that such kinds of words are exciting, then you liked them, you want to know more about them, return to them. That's how you will add certain words to your linguistic repertoire. If you come across a new word, interesting word, see if you can make a sense, make any sense of it by using it within the context, or how the word is used, and make sense of it. Guess its meaning, then look it up. See, words have a life of their own. You have to keep looking up words. Okay, no one can, unless and until someone has been doing language of, the job of building up a dictionary all their lives. Otherwise, there would be very few people who can say that they know each and every word that exists in the English language. You have to look up. You have to revisit words. If you like them and if you want to use them in your vocabulary, you have to revisit them very often. A word can often have more than one meaning. Okay, you never can tell. So, therefore, English can be quite tricky in this way. A word can have more than one meaning. So, when you're interested in a word, when you find a word which is interesting, read through all the meanings which are listed in the dictionary. For example, you can ask yourself, what does a word like cliche mean? What does a word like niche mean? Niche is also a very popular word. Cannot call it a cliched word, but it's an interesting word. People often use it. It's a higher order vocabulary. A word like streamline or downsize. So, downsize, down market, streamline, what do these words mean? What are the different meanings of the word stock? When you use a word like return or revert, what prepositions go or do not go with these? Is it a good idea to use return back a book, or I'll return back to you? Is it good? Is it correct? You have to look it up. What are the prepositions, for example, you should use after the word choose or surround? How do you write a sentence with margin? Where do you use a word like marginalize? Okay, so a dictionary will tell you all these, answer all these questions. I would like to draw your attention to this particular word, a very common word. Look at the slide here. The word is, the key word or the main word here is produce. The dictionary tells us to offer, to view or notice, to give birth or rise to yield, to make available for public exhibition or dissemination, such as to provide funding for search for backers to produce the film. You produce a film, producers, to oversee the making of will, produce their new album. So, the Rolling Stones produce their new album. To cause, to have existence, to happen, bring about, to give being, form, shape, to produce the book, right? Make specially, manufacture, to compose. The production has gone down, so that's the way we use it here. So, create, bring out by intellectual or physical effort, to cause, to accrue, and in its intransitive form, these are the ways it can be used. So, one word and multiple ways of using it. Look at this slide again, and here are a few sentences using the word produce. The manager's remarks and suggestions produced, that's a verb, desirable results. The bee sting produced, that means caused rashes on his skin. The prosecution produced evidence. So, here produce is that brought forth, that sealed the case against the company. A ton of rice was produced in my farm. Millions of bottles are produced every year. So, just a few examples. Now, from dictionary skills, let's move on to let's move on to do idioms. So, we have done collocation and idioms. Idioms, as I have been telling you over and again, they are those words, expressions that add color and elegance to your vocabulary. They are not predictable, they are not usual, they are not common, they are not the kinds of words, expressions that we use in our everyday speech. Okay. Most of the time, idioms are those expressions whose meanings cannot be or are not predictable. When you say, and it's a very British example, hasn't the penny dropped? That means, haven't you understood it? When you say, at the drop of a hat, you're not really throwing a hat, but you're, what is it? What are you doing it? Instantly. Without, and when you say without batting your eyelids, that means you're not even taking that much time as it takes to bat your eyelids. So, what does that mean? It means that idioms are those words, when you see a collection or group of words, they may not exactly mean those words, okay, but taken as a whole, taken as a collection, there is a different meaning altogether. When you say a penny for your thoughts, that doesn't mean that you are giving a penny to somebody's thoughts. You think something and we will give you a penny. That's not penny for thoughts. That I wonder what you're thinking. What are you thinking? So it's an idiomatic way of expressing yourself. Business communication often involves idioms whose meanings are not easily discernible. Okay. The main context and tone of an idiom, especially if its message is positive, negative or neutral, that's what matters. So, the context matters. Again, for this also you have to read a lot and you have to cultivate the habit of looking up words. Look at this slide, particular slide, where we have given you very few examples of commonly used idioms. Tough break. It's used when something really unfortunate happens. Example, his resignation is going to be a tough break for us. Ahead of the curve, to be ahead of everyone else. Example, the new policy will ensure that we are ahead of the curve. Back to square one, meaning to be back at the beginning. You work a lot, but something happens, something goes wrong and you are back to square one. For example, since company failed to break even, we are now back to square one. Backroom deal, meaning an agreement made in private. Although project was featured prominently in the news, most details were not revealed since it was a backroom deal. Fall short of is to fail. We fell short of achieving our target by 1%. Please look at this slide. Again, more examples for you. To corner a market, which means to dominate a market. Example, ABC retailers have cornered the market on dairy products. You can use these expressions in any which way you want. Here are just a few examples. To take the bull by its horns is to confront something. There was no other option for ABC but to take the bull by its horns, that is, to confront headlong. Get the ball rolling, get started. Today's agenda was to get the ball rolling on the new project. Go the extra mile. Today's world is extremely cutthroat. You need to go the extra mile if you want to be noticed. So, what does it mean? Do some extra work. Go beyond the call of duty. You cannot say that, this is exactly what you wanted me to do. I am not going to do anything more than that. My work ends here. It's a 9 to 5 job I am paid for. So, I am not going to do more than that. You have to go the extra mile in your profession. So, you have to do, you have to come up with something extra that others are more than, something more or something extra as compared to what others are delivering. So, that is what means going the extra mile. Now, as I have been telling you, idioms do not mean that you are actually looking at the exact meaning. So, go the extra mile does not mean that you are walking an extra mile for something. It just means you are doing some extra work. Throw in the towel is again extremely interesting. You are not throwing hat or towel or anything, but you are quitting. Learning this was difficult, tough, but operating with R made me throw in the towel. That means I quit. It was not just learning, it was not just difficult to learn, but also extremely difficult to operate, implement, execute. So, somebody threw in the towel. To quit. It comes from the game of boxing. This is the context here. Now, these are the exercises. Guess the meaning of the idiom highlighted in the sentence given. You are given options. First one, Helen was given her walking papers yesterday. A. Letter permitting to travel. B. Notice dismissing someone from a job. Which is better? Or which is the exact meaning? Second, the project has been given the green light. A. To be marked to be important. B. To receive approval. Continued. Number 3. ProBank Limited had to do some belt tightening to make up for losses from its non-performing assets. A. To reduce expenses to change its interior. Number 4. Today's stock prices of the company took a nosedive as customers started panicking and withdrawing their deposits. Meaning A. To soar high. B. A huge decrease in value. Number 5. The board of directors wanted to cut corners on the project. There is a word missing here. The project I was heading, you can say. A. So, cut corners to give ideas, inputs to the project. B. To do the project as cheaply as possible. 6. I can't tell you the correct estimate now, but it would be in the ballpark of 18 crore rupees. A rough estimate of the cost. B. To be less than that. Exercise 2.2. Choose the correct words from the italicized options in the sentences given below. First, my mother is a carpenter. She is autonomous or self-employed. Which is better? Which is better? Second, the owners of the business empire include the founder, a few family members, and some business associates or business companions. Which is better? 3. Tata Steel Limited is a public company posted or listed on a stock exchange. Number 4. The decisions are made by higher people, superiors. So, the italicized words are higher people or superiors. Please mark that in the board of directors. Next one, exercise 2.3. Unscramble the following words largely related to the startup world from the meanings given. Now, look at the first word, and the meaning is the desire for a product by a consumer. So, unscramble it. Next, this is a word and meaning is an individual who starts a business and takes on the risks and rewards associated with it. It's not taken, it's takes. Third, this is a word and wealth in the form of money or assets owned and made available to start a company or invest. Next, look at this word. One part of the company's capital equally divided that can be bought and sold. And look at this word, a corporate move where a company buys most all of another firm's ownership and assumes control over it. So, number 5, what is it? And then number 6, affluent individuals who contribute capital for startups in exchange for ownership and the like, etc. And then exercise 2.4, you are asked to match the following. Look at the slide here. Venture, private, data, exit, barriers to technology, and on the other hand you have strategy, capitalists, entry, capital, equity, analytics. So, how do you collocate? Take a moment and understand this slide better. And then in this exercise, complete the sentences with the phrases formed in the previous exercise. You have just done an exercise. So, London is the European hotspot for dash when it comes to fintech. Second, B, dash will allow, and you have to use the word that you have just done, banks to avoid unnecessary risks as it will detect small and medium enterprises that prove to be potential non-performing loan candidates. There are market efforts in developing solutions that provide, this should be marked efforts, M-A-R-K-E-D, marked efforts in developing solutions that provide retailers with the ability to accept payments across all dash possible in-store, in-app, online and in AR and VR. Next one, number 4. Social impact bonds represent an innovative business model that incentivizes dash to solve public problems. Number 5. Industries regulated by the government have high dash. 6. As a startup, you need to have an dash to enable your investors to cash in on their investments as well as to safeguard the value of your startup. And let's look at the answers here. First, I will do exercise 2.4. So, answer is venture capitalists, private capital, data analytics, exit strategy, not exist, barriers to entry and technology platforms. Please look these words up if you do not know the exact meanings of these words, expressions. And now, let us look at this. These answers 2.1, answer to 2.1. B, first is B, Helen was given her walking papers yesterday. Answer is notice dismissing someone from a job. Second, answer is B, the project has been given the green light, which means to receive approval. Number 3, ProBank Limited had to do some belt tightening to make up for losses from its non-performing assets. Answer is A, to reduce expenses. Number 4, B, today stock prices of the company took a nosedive, that means a huge decrease in value. Answer is B. Look at this answer. Number 5, B, the board of directors wanted to cut corners on the project. I was heading B, to do the project as cheaply as possible. And number 6 is A, I can't tell you the correct estimate now, but it would be in the ballpark of 18 crore rupees. Answer is A, a rough estimate of the cost. And exercise 2.2, look at the answers here. My mother is a carpenter, she is autonomous or self-employed. Answer is self-employed. Next is not business companions but business associates. And number 3, listed. Number 4, we do not say higher people but superiors. Of course, it goes without saying that answers or both options are very close, but that is the way it goes. You have to select only the best one. And here is the answers to exercise 2.3. So, please look at it. The unscrambled words. So, first is demand, entrepreneur, capital, shares, acquisitions and angel investors. So, thank you very much. We will continue in the next class where we will be doing the crossword puzzle, and we will start with the crossword puzzle.